Oh, what about you? In the garage today, on the ramp, and a few jacks going on there, is a Chevrolet Orlando. And yeah, beautifully designed box of a vehicle. And well, she's on her second clutch. Right, well, that's a GL flywheel there, and that's an LUK boxed clutch kit. And the strange thing about this is that everywhere you look, it says SAC on it, which is like a different manufacturer. SAC. So that flywheel says value on it. Have a wee look, see if we can show you that. Does it say value on it somewhere? It says value on it, so oh, there's it there. Can you make that out? Anyway, it says value on it. That's a dual mass flywheel. And this is a bit of an oddball because the guy that owns this car had serious diffs obtaining these replacements, and it only does Chevrolet. I thought this thing here on the ramp would have been the same as a Insignia or an Astra or something. It's a GM product, you know. So we'll have the engine supported with this crossbar, which is the way I like to do it, if I can. Sometimes that crossbar, you can't get it. Sits in the wings there, but I have supports beneath it to take the weight. And I also have, let's see, I'll get you down here. I have that jack, and that's just to stop the engine from rocking. So I took the gearbox out in a low profile position there, and yeah, I do that so I just can do it all from a sedentary position. So this, I've done loads and loads of clutches in my time, but this one here is, well, it's testing me a wee bit. It is an absolute pig. So I'll show you. There's bolts here. See that bolt there? And that one there. Where am I? That one there. They don't come out because they hit the DPF. And I've taken the heat shields off the DPF. Well, back one's still in there, but it meant I could get it out of the way, to get at these. So whenever I install this, I'll have to just get it in and then, start to wind these in. So there's a bolt on the forge like that, but I've never seen one with two. Let's see if we can see that. Up there, maybe. Yeah, so it hits the DPF. And causes you a bit of grief. But anyway, dual mass flywheel, let's see. Just completely guessed. And this thing in here, if I had smelly vision in here, it smells like, burnt wood, sort of embers. Absolutely stinks. And if we look up, maybe in here, we can maybe see the pressure plate is touching the flywheel. And I can see here. So there's basically no clutch plate left. And that's our adjuster mechanism. See that tooth thing? So these Valio ones, even though it says SAC on it, but this is a Valio design. That's the self-adjusting mechanism here. Sorry I'm all over the place here, but I'm trying to look at what I'm doing and look at the viewfinder at the same time. So this is the adjuster mechanism. It works on a warm and a dry, there's a tooth thing here, and then that rotates and brings it in on the self-adjusting mechanism. So what you're supposed to do with these is you're supposed to preload these to fit them. Now, it's probable, and I don't want to make any presumptions here, that most guys probably won't do this. I'm not going to show it in this video, but I'll show you the kit and show you a wee bit about it. And yeah, okay. So you spend more time cleaning stuff up than anything, you know. But anyway, here's our dual mass flywheel. And whenever it gets like this, it's just a big weight flinging about. So you can see that bit there isn't in the center anymore. And this car drove here, and I drove it into the garage, which is a bit of a miracle considering everything's detached. Lucky enough. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this jack here is to keep this thing stable. So whenever I'm taking these flywheel bolts out and tightening them up, you know, that'll stop the engine from rocking. It's being held up from the chains above, but that jack isn't actually there to hold the engine up. You know, it's just to keep it from rocking about, which it will do. So that's just a temporary measure, and we'll have the flywheel locked there, so that we can do that. So there's that pressure plate. I just thought I would show you this. That's it actually in its loaded state. So what I've done there is you screw that bio in. So that sticky out bit, that's the bit that the other kits sort of don't have. That is going right through there and aligning the clutch plate. So you load that in, you screw it in, just a couple of turns, 2 or 3 turns, and then whenever the pressure plate touches the flywheel, it lets you get the rest, you know, 3 of the bolts in, out of the 6 in this case. So 3 of the bolt holes are taken up by those standoffs, and whenever you load it in, pressure plate goes in, touches the flywheel, that lets you get that bolt, and that bolt in. And then that's you done. That's you done with that tool. Take that tool off, put the other 3 in. That's it. Job done. So as the kit here, I have the preload self-adjusting clutches. And there's it there. It's US Pro. And whatever that number is. 6129. Right, okay. And that's it there. Now, there's kits, two sort of main different types of these kits on the market that I can see, and there's one that has this center alignment tool, which, you know, aligns the clutch plate, keeps the clutch plate in its aligned position, and you use these pieces here on the end of that expands out, you know, and then it goes through this here, through the center of it, you know, and then you preload it, well, one of these things, with the standoff jubbies. So as far as I can see, this kit is more or less the same. Oh, by the way, BMWs have the self-adjusting pressure plate already preloaded, and those 3 things there, they're just alignment tools. So that's what they are. Just BMW only for those 3. So it is more or less the same, this kit here, as this laser 7027, more or less as far as I can see. So it's the one with this sort of stick in it. That's sort of like the one that you're after. There's a lot of the keys kit don't have that, you know, and you can download that as a PDF, and I'll tell you how to use it and what each bits are for. You know, that laser kit's very expensive, about 3 times the price of that. So just to give you an idea, that's the LUK type mechanism, where it's these sort of yellow springs. They're usually yellow in colour, and this here's to reset it. So there's a lot of people I think that, you know, this tool is just for if you're reusing the pressure plate, and in my opinion, well, I'd never do that. You'd always put a new clutch on it, like, you know what I mean, if you have a gearbox out. But you're supposed to use this here to preload it, and the whole idea is in case your pressure plate goes on, you know, cattywampus. Now, a lot of guys will probably, and you're right, like, you know, if you can put that pressure plate on perfectly, you know, tighten your bolts up diagonally, ease them in very, very evenly, you'll be grand. More than likely, be grand. But if it's not, if it's on a bit skew whiff, you know, the adjuster then will try to take it up. You know, it'll try to take up that angle. And, you know, I've heard stories of people fitting brand new self-adjusting clutches and a week after, burnt out clutch. You know, you had to pull the gearbox back again. So the idea of me, that's the reason why I want to use this here, is to avoid that. That's basically it. It's not a case of, you know, I'm doing it right, I'm doing it by the book. It's, I want to avoid problems, you know, future problems. I don't want this car. I don't want to see this car again. Oh, by the way, this car behind me here, oh, it's a bit skew whiff. Talk about things that are skew whiff. This car, this is its second clutch. The guy tells me this is its second clutch. There's about 230,000 miles in this car. And he says he got the first clutch and flywheel fitted around about 100, and this is number 2. And this, by the way, is the most expensive kit that I've ever came across. But anyway, I think he paid about £800 for it. But let me see. So there's all the bits and pieces. You know, as I say, you can download, Google this, and laser 7027 PDF. There's it there. No links. No links. Look, do your own research. Get it yourself. And that basically, that star thing then goes on. Center bit goes in. Turn it. It preloads the fingers on the pressure plate. And you push it in until the pressure plate touches the, and that just lets you bolt it up. That's it. That's all it does. Don't do anything else. You know, it's not complicated. That is the BMW type that has a locking ring. It is preloaded locking ring, so that allows you to bolt it on flush right away, right off the bat. Those wee mandrel things are just alignment tools, and then once you bolt it up, you remove the locking ring. That's you done. Simple as that. So that's the wee mandrel for an alignment. That's, so those three things there are BMW alignment tools. That's all they are, nothing else. And you don't use all that stuff, you know. So on normal ones, nearly every other self-adjusted clutch, then what you're supposed to do is preload it with these boyos here. So there's a 4-way and a 3-way. So it depends on the, you know, the spacing on the bolts and the pressure plate or the flywheel. And yeah, so this stick thing then, so you screw on one of these here, whatever one fits. These are all different diameters, girths, you know, and that screws on to the end of that, and that goes into your crank, into the hole where sometimes you would have a pilot bearing, into the hole in the crank. You expand it out with that thing using these cones, tapered cone thing, and that goes through that by, as I said, and that holds your clutch plate in position while you turn this screw here, and that puts a load on your springs to allow you to bolt it up. That's it. So that's all it's doing. Nothing special. It's a bit of a flaw for what you're trying to achieve, but there you go. So anyway, that's the drawing there. That stick thing goes into the pressure plate, into the flywheel, and those boys there with the different diameters. Right, okay, like, oh, this is just a wee quick one. I'm going to, there's my hat, clean all this up. The whole thing is bugging. So yeah, I have to press on and get this gearbox in today. So many thanks for watching, as ever. Maybe you got something out of it, and all the best, and